everyone, I'm Jared.
And I'm Amy.
And welcome to the Swartz Creek Church of Christ Staycation Bible School.
Oh, I'm so excited. Vacation Bible School week is my favorite week of the whole entire year. But, did you say staycation?
I did say staycation.
Oh, cool.
Yes, Amy.
What's a staycation?
Well, as you can tell, things are a little different this year. You've probably had to stay at home quite a bit from school, and you're not able to go out and do as many things. And so this year, since we can't all be together, it doesn't mean that we can't still be at home with our families and enjoy a vacation Bible school as we stay at home. Staycation Bible School.
Oh, I get it. Stay at home vacation. Staycation Bible School. That's really cool.
So, are you ready for tonight's story?
Yes. What are we talking about tonight?
Well, Amy, are there ever times that you just feel kind of weak?
Yeah, like when I'm trying to lift something really heavy, like a big box. But I can't because I'm just not strong enough.
Do you ever feel weak, you guys at home? Well, tonight, we're going to talk about a man from the Bible who also struggled with that. His name was Job. And Job was very faithful to God, and he was very blessed by God. But then Satan wanted to test Job just to see how strong and faithful he really was. Let's see how that played out.
One day, Satan was walking around the earth. He was up to no good.
What have you been up to?
Oh, no good.
Have you considered my servant Job? There's no one quite like him. He's a good and righteous man who follows me and runs away from evil.
Psst, you spoil him. He is more than he could ever ask for, and nothing bad ever happens to him. I bet if he didn't have all that stuff from you, he'd curse you right to your face. Just watch.
We'll see. Go ahead. Take what you want from him. Just don't hurt Job.
So Satan left to go and test Job. So one day, a day that started out like any other day, Job was enjoying his walk when all at once, one person after another began coming to Job with bad news.
Job, I have terrible news. What is it? We were working out in the fields when these men with swords came, and well, they killed all the men working in the field and they took all the animals with them. I'm the only one left to tell you.
Dylan. Sir, there was a terrible storm, and lightning, like fire, came and struck all your sheep, and your shepherds too. I'm the only one left.
Sir. And there was this terrible wind. Your kids were at your son's house, and I'm so sorry, but they're all dead.
Job is heartbroken, yet he still finds strength to praise God.
The Lord gives, the Lord takes. Blessed be the Lord's name.
Job stayed faithful, but Satan was not done yet.
Hey, give me another shot at this. Men will do anything to save their own life. If you take away his good health, I guarantee he'll curse you.
You can try. Take away his health, but don't kill him.
So Job was overcome with terrible sores that itched and hurt all over. Yet, still he didn't speak badly about God. But Job's wife was not happy. She was angry at God, and she told Job,
You cannot be serious. After all of this, you're still following him? Just curse him and die.
How can you even say that? We take the good from God. We can take the bad times too.
After that, Job's 3 friends came to him, and, well, they weren't much help either.
Good people don't get punished like this. You're probably a bad person and deserved it.
Yeah, you should just change your ways. If you were a good person, none of this would have happened.
You know, you're probably getting off easy. If I were God, I would have punished you way worse.
You guys stink. I need new friends.
Job, although he had not sinned against God, still being abandoned by all the people that he cared about, and yet he still did not sin. In his loneliness and weakness, he continued to worship God.
God, I know you're so amazing. Please forgive me for anything I've done or anything my friends have done.
After all that he had gone through, Job kept faith in God, and God heard his prayer. He forgave Job's friends, and he gave Job twice as much as he had before. He gave him sheep, camels, oxen, and donkeys. Job and his wife had several more sons and daughters, and he lived many more years watching his family grow.
Wow, what an amazing story. I've had some bad days, but I can't imagine going through all that Job went through.
It is pretty incredible. And you see, there's going to be times when you and I go through some bad things too, even if we've done absolutely nothing wrong. But we need to remember something very important. In God, we can find strength even when we feel weak and defeated. And that brings us to our memory verse for the night. And it's found in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10.
Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might.
Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. In the Lord and the might. And in the Lord and the strength of his life. Ephesians 6:10. Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might.
When we're hurting and when we feel weak, God can give us the strength that we need to get through whatever it is that we're going through. We just need to trust in him.
Yeah, just like Job. Even when he lost everything and he had yucky, itchy sores all over, and even when his wife and friends talked badly about him and God, he still followed God. That's really neat.
It is, and it's important for us to remember that no matter what we go through, God is bigger than all of it. Can you say that with me? Say, God is bigger. Good job.
Hey, that makes me think of a song. My God is so big. Oh, can we sing it? Please, 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 please.
Absolutely. Can you sing it with us at home? All right. Our God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. Our God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing our God cannot do. The mountains are his and the valleys are his and the trees are his handiwork too. Our God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing our God cannot do. Thanks, Amy, for singing that with me. And thank you at home for singing that with me too. Now I think it's time to go over to Anna with our experiment for the night.
Hi everyone, welcome to Anna's Experiments with Anna. Today we are making a tornado in a bottle. So first you're going to have one 2-liter bottle that's filled about halfway full with water and one empty 2-liter bottle. You're going to need a washer, which is this little piece of metal here with a hole through it. And you're going to put that on top of the bottle with the water. I put some green glitter inside so we can see the tornado a little better. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the empty bottle, get some duct tape, and you're going to take the empty bottle and put it on top of the bottle with the water. Then you're going to tape them together. You can do more than one piece so you can keep it together because you don't want to get glittery water all over yourself. That would be a mess. Alright, maybe one more piece just for good luck. Alright, that looks secure. And then, what you're going to do is you're going to take your 2 bottles and you're going to start shaking it around in a circle. You want to shake it pretty fast so the water's going around, and you want to dump it. And we have a semi-tornado. Ooh, look at that. So, we've seen in our skit that a lot of bad things happen to Job, and sometimes bad things happen to us too. But just like the tornado was kept in the bottle, God will protect us in the bad things in life. So, we need to stay strong in God. Bye, everybody!
That was so cool. I can't wait to try that later.
We're almost done with night 1 of Staycation Bible School, but first, what did we learn about today?
Well, sometimes we go through tough things, like Job did. Maybe we're sick, or we're worried, or we're sad. And Job went through a lot of hard things, but he trusted in God. And because of his trust, Job was able to stay strong. Hey, stay strong, like staycation. What a coincidence.
No, it's like we almost planned it or something. But you're right. As long as we have God on our side, we can stay strong. And remember our memory verse for tonight. In Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10, it says, "Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might." before we go, what if we have a couple more songs? What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I love songs.
In the beginning God made the seas, and the forest filled with trees, and the mountains up so high, and at the top he placed the sky. His fingerprints are everywhere, just to show how much he cared. In the middle he had some fun, made a hippo that weighed a ton. Hip, 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 hippopotamus, hip, hip, hooray, God made all of us. Hip, 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 hippopotamus, hip, hip, hooray, God made all of us. In the beginning God made the seas, and the forest filled with trees, and the mountains up so high, and at the top he placed the sky. His fingerprints are everywhere, just to show how much he cared. In the middle he had some fun, and made a kangaroo who jumps a ton. Kangaroo, hip hip hooray, God made me and you. Kangaroo, hip hip hooray, God made me and you. And in the beginning God made the seas, and the forest filled with trees, and the mountains up so high, and at the top he placed the sky. His fingerprints are everywhere, just to show how much he cared. In the middle he had some fun, and made a manatee who weighs a ton. Manatee, hip hip hooray, God made you and me. Manatee, hip hip hooray, God made you and me. I may never march in the infantry, ride in the cavalry, shoot the artillery. I may never fly over the enemy, but I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir! I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir! I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir! I may never march in the infantry, ride in the cavalry, shoot the artillery. I may never fly over the enemy, but I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir! I may never march in the infantry, ride in the cavalry, shoot the artillery. I may never fly over the enemy, but I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir! I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir! I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir! I may never march in the infantry, ride in the cavalry, shoot the artillery. I may never fly over the enemy, but I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir! There's a sea of Galilee, there's a sea of Galilee, there's a sea, there's a sea. There's a sea of Galilee, and there are boats on the sea of Galilee. There are boats on the sea of Galilee. There are boats, there are boats. There are boats on the Sea of Galilee, and there are men on the boats of the Sea of Galilee. There are men on the boats of the Sea of Galilee. There are men, there are men. There are men on the boats of the Sea of Galilee, and there are hands on the men on the boats of the Sea of Galilee. There are hands on the men on the boats of the Sea of Galilee. There are hands, there are hands. There are hands on the men on the boats on the Sea of Galilee, and there are nets in the hands of the men on the boats of the Sea of Galilee. There are nets in the hands of the men on the boats of the Sea of Galilee. There are nets, there are nets. There are nets in the hands of the men on the boat of the Sea of Galilee, and there are fish in the nets in the hands of the men on the boats of the Sea of Galilee. There are fish in the nets in the hands of the men on the boats of the Sea of Galilee. There are fish, there are fish. There are fish in the nets on the hands of the men on the boats of the Sea of Galilee. And there are many, many fish in the nets in the hands of the men on the boats of the Sea of Galilee. There are many, many fish in the nets in the hands of the men on the boats of the Sea of Galilee. There are many, many fish. There are many, many fish. There are many, many fish in the nets in the hands of the men on the boat of the Sea of Galilee. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine all the time, let it shine. Won't let Satan it out, I'm gonna let it shine. Won't let Satan it out, I'm gonna let it shine. Won't let Satan it out, I'm gonna let it shine all the time, let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine all the time, let it shine. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine all the time, let it shine. Booster, booster, be a booster. Don't be grouchy like a rooster. Booster, booster, be a booster and boost our Bible school. Booster! All right. I know you can probably be louder than that. Let's do it again. Booster, booster, be a booster. Don't be grouchy like a rooster. Booster, booster, be a booster and boost our Bible school. Booster! Well, that'll do it for night 1 of Staycation Bible School. We hope that you have had a good time because I know that I have.
Me too. And we hope you'll watch tomorrow. Hey, Jared, what are we talking about tomorrow?
Well, Amy, has anyone ever been mean to you? Well, tomorrow night we're going to talk about how we should react to people even when they don't treat us very nicely. We hope that you'll join us tomorrow. See you later.